My name is Daniel Rowe. I was born in Jamaica, came here when I was 5 years old after my mother was here for about 2 to 3 years. After that, grew up in East Orange, New Jersey. Then I had the opportunity, just fast forward, went to middle school, had an opportunity to go to boarding school through a foundation called the White Foundation. And from there, it was a great experience. I was around affluent people. And then during that period of time, I fell in love with football. That was my thing. Education was huge for me. My mom is Jamaican. If you know anything about the islands, education is huge. And yes, my dad, he's a big part of my life, but I talk about my mom because she's that rock. Come junior year, senior year, I took it to another level, and things started to turn into my favor. I had an opportunity to go play Division I football. And I played Division I AA football, to be exact, at the University of New Hampshire. Now, for me, this is my dream. Like, hey, yes, 1A is huge. 1A is a place where you want to be. But again, what I put in, that's what I got out. And that got me to 1AA. And we played some top-notch people. And then in college, I studied sports studies, minored in business. And my junior year was an incredible year. That's the year our team, we were unstoppable. It was a dope year. We were number one in the country. We won the conference championship. Unfortunately, sometimes things are on an uptrend, looking so well, and then right before the championship game, we dropped the ball. We lost the finals, semifinals before the finals, and then again, it just wasn't in the deck for us. But I got a chance to play high-level football against some very, very good men. And then after that, immediately after college, the foundation that got me to the prep school that I talked about, then that foundation, I started working with them immediately after college. And what I do is that I go out and I talk to students, talk to teachers, talk to parents about the opportunity of going to boarding school. So like being in the football space forced me to be like, I'm just talking. So when I first met Brett, he was like, you sound like you have a lot of marbles in your mouth. And I got offended. I'm like, I went to prep school. I played significantly high-level football. I know how to talk and communicate. And then he's like, no, you don't. Like, I can't understand what you're saying. That sentence that you just said didn't make no sense at all. And I was like, man, this dude is like trying to get under my skin. But again, things like that, he really opened my eyes to realizing that even though you may think that you're saying something important, people may not understand what you're saying because you're not taking your time to fully enunciate and let them know what you're talking about. Brett's training has enhanced my abilities in a lot of ways. I feel 100% that my life has changed for the better, and that's not to say that everything in my past didn't change my life. I'm a great young man because of the people that I've met, my teachers, my parents, the schools that I went to. But again, I was a great young man, and there's always ways to enhance yourself. And this right here took my life to another level because I'm able to communicate in a much better way. I would definitely recommend others to work with Brett, especially athletes. Like, you got to understand, we come from a world where our head coach, positions coach, they're in our face 24/7. Like you may laugh here and there, like, hey man, if you're a top-notch player and you're doing what you're supposed to do, hey, you're gonna get that favoritism. But when it comes down to it, all of your coaches at some point or another just gonna give it to you real. They're gonna keep it real with you. You was trash. That play you just did, I don't know who you are. Like I had days where my head coach used to come in college. The person I saw in that film, I don't know who it was, but you better find him. It's like stuff like that. You want people to just give it to you real and just up front. I don't need someone to BS my time. Just to be frank, I'm not. You want someone who's actually going to make the change happen. Like you have to be able to meet adversity in the instant. You can't wait to build up to adversity. When you go on the field, in any sporting arena, or you're in the business world, you're in the classroom, wherever you're at, as soon as you hit adversity, that's when change happens. And the first day I met Brett, he started talking trash to me about how I spoke. I'm like, what? I'm like, I just met you. He's like, you can't talk. I just met you. You can't talk. At that moment, it was adversity for me. And right off the bat, it was change happened. Change happened. So you want someone who's willing and able to give you negative criticism, but also help you build from the negative criticism. Positive criticism is wonderful. Yes. It helps with the ego. It helps you get through your days. But something that I learned from working with Brett is that there's days where you just hear that negative reinforcement, like, hey, you got to do this better. You still suck at that. You still suck at this. Yeah, that was great and all, but if I tell you did great, well, I don't have time to hear a scratch on your back. No, you still sucked at this and you still sucked at that. Let's figure it out. And I feel like people who are on a mission to get something done would like to work with someone who is on a mission to help them get that done. Simple as that. The training has definitely boosted my confidence because I'm not afraid of speaking to large crowds. The number one thing is being able to speak to 300 to 400 people over a mic with no sound behind you. I couldn't do that before. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm brave enough to step in front of a crowd, but it wouldn't come out as smoothly if it wasn't for him. If I could describe Brett's training in one word, I'm gonna push it to 3, in your face. It was an information session. I think it was November. That's the event. That's a bigger event where you're probably going to get 250 to 300 people. And that's adults and kids mixed, give or take. And when you walk back and forth in front of people, when you see everybody's head go like this, then go like this, and then they nod when you nod, when you see a connection like that, I realized, okay, this works. Like, let's not try to act like I had this before. Like, people listened to me before, but for me to be like, ding, doom, 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 and y'all, they're like, ha, 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 ha. That was a pivotal moment in my training. Again, this training, it continues on. But that first moment, that time where I had my information session, and I felt the connection with the parents. And then I actually had my cousin in the crowd because his daughter was applying. He texted my mother during the presentation and it was like, he did a phenomenal job. I don't know where this was, or like, I haven't seen him in a while, but he did his thing. And that moment made me realize, yeah, this is working. The reactions that I see from people now because of the training, I would say this: people don't question the things that you say. They know when you say it, and when you put it down, it's concrete. Simple as that. It's concrete. He knows what he's saying. Like, let's be real. I'm going to be very honest with you. The way I communicate now, even if I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, people are going to be like, all right, Daniel said it, so like, must have some validity behind it. That kind of communication power is something to where in the business world, in an interview, hey, in the background, hey, the team may be struggling, but the way you communicate and how you present yourself, and the skills that we learn, you have the media thinking, man, they about to win the championship again. Because you're trying to protect what's going on in-house. And if you don't know how to be able to hold yourself in front of a crowd, reporters, if you don't know how to hold yourself in front of other opponents, other coaches, the fans, it's going to come off as a bad vibe, what's going on with the team. You don't want to give anybody any ammo to think other than what's actually going on. This is my team. What's in-house stays in-house. That's what it is. The way I communicate with you, you shouldn't question it. And that's it. Things happen in your life. Positive things happen in your life. It's not just you. It's not just you. And obviously, Brett is a piece that truly pushed my skills, pushed my game to a whole nother level when it comes to being able to communicate with this world. Brett's training is very, very important when it comes for athletes, because for men and women, you're in a field that you have to speak to reporters, you have to speak to coaches, and that's with any level. I'm not here to disrespect any level. I play 1AA. Some people play 1A. You play Division 2, Division 3. Wherever you're at, you're going to have to be able to communicate with a reporter, with your coaches, with your teachers. You have to be able to communicate with people on your campus. And then a lot of you want to take this to the professional level. You're in front of a camera all day, every day. You're on social media. And what you do on the field and what you do on the court, whatever space that you're making your money, that's incredible. That's great. That's wonderful. But when you step off the field, when you step off the court, who are you? Who are you? I personally never want anyone to be just known for their athletic ability. You're so much more than that. And the reason why I say that, you can have a lasting legacy as an athlete. That's wonderful, but you also want to have that lasting legacy off the court.